show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Sitting down and designing, why every man in my thinking, what are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a Liverpool MC, you can't test me, big up the girls inside the party, let's get down to crazy Jimmy, big up myself and known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC. Always love the clothes of Jimmy, British punk, yo, what I wanna be, Jimmy Star, new celebrity. We'll take you out to Jimmy Star.
Hey ho, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. We got a fun show for you guys today. We have Bryan Forrest coming on, and then we have Emmy winner Patrika Darbo coming on. It's going to be a fun show, but before we get started, let's talk about, or say hello to, my cool outrageous man about co-host Mr. Ron Russell in Astro.
What a build-up. What a come on.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God, I could throw up. Anyway, this is Astro. He's on television again. He loves it. He's a ham. He's always camera ready, right, Astro? Say hi to everybody. Hello. Look, he's waving. Okay, now get down. Enough. I have to go. Oh, you want to kiss me? Oh, I'm into making out with my dog.
So what's up, chat room? People are starting to show up. Cindy Lady Lake is in the chat room. Thank you so much, Cindy, for all your help with the promotions of everything. Stefan Bell has joined us in there along with Tina. Tina's off to work. Hey, Tina, how you doing?
Hi, Tina. Are you still with that guy? I mean, when are you going to get smart? A girl like you should be with a multi-millionaire, and you should be kept in luxury. You should be living in the Riviera, driving a Rolls Royce. You're so perfect. I love you, Tina.
Well, I love you, Stefan. So there. Also, we want to give a shout out to Dawn Hinton, who just also joined us, and she had surgery on her shoulder. So I hope everything's going well.
Well, she said it was her shoulder. She really became a man.
Yeah. B. Claudia just joined us. Everybody's saying they like my haircut. So most of you guys know I have a knee surgery tomorrow, so I just cut it all off. Ron cut it off, but I like it too. I look younger and thinner.
I said he looks like an erect penis.
Yeah.
Look at that head. It's definitely a head of a penis. Penis head. That's your new nickname.
There you go. All right, everybody. They say we both
I don't feel like working today.
They like our red. They like the red I'm in today. So there. That
good. But I don't feel like working today.
That's okay. This isn't work. This is play.
No, I'm tired. You know, like I told Jimmy, maybe if I got paid, I might get excited to work. But when you work for free for 14 years, you get tired.
So if you guys want to sponsor the show, hit us up in social media.
Yeah, I could use some money. My car broke down.
Yeah, which is getting fixed now, you guys.
God knows what they're going to charge. You know, today, a simple thing in a mechanic's place is in the thousands of dollars. It's insane how people are scalping each other. Everybody's upbidding. You know, I'll charge you more. It's just insane. Living in California, as I wrote on Facebook today, is getting to be an impossibility. You can't get earthquake insurance. You can't get fire insurance. Everything costs an arm and a leg. Electric, food, gasoline is the highest in California than the whole country. So you really have to have a lot of money if you live in California, or you have to live very meekly. You know, like don't go to dinner, don't go out, don't travel. Don't buy tampons. Don't do any of that stuff because, you know, it costs a lot of money. Anyway, I want to go to Florida next week. But, you know, where Jimmy's getting his knee done and so many things that we have to do, it seems to be an impossibility. But where there's a way, there's a will. No, where there's a will, there's a way.
It won't be next week. It'll have to be next month, maybe.
March 22nd, I believe.
Yeah, it's a possibility we might be able to go.
I really want to go. I have friends I haven't seen there. I'm going to hook up with other friends who are down from New York. So it'll be a nice, fun week. And we'll do our show from Florida. That would be a different scenery, you know. For those of you who watch us, Jimmy said that more people listen to us than watch us. Okay, whatever your choice is.
About 4 million people listen to us, and about 2,000 people to 7,000 people watch us.
That's all? 7,000 people watch us? So why do I bother shaving or combing my hair?
For those 7,000.
Not that I ever comb my hair.
For those 7,000.
So where are these 7,000 people? We go all over, and no one stops us and says, "Are you Ron Russell?"
Well, 7,000 people out of the millions that are in the country.
When I had my Set the Record Straight, that was on television, the real television, not this pod crap. And people then used to stop me.
Yeah, but that's because it was only here.
No, I was up in, no, don't say.
It was only in California.
Yes,
we're all around the world.
I know that, but I live in California, so the people that watch Set the Record Straight knew me.
Yeah, but people here don't know us.
No, because we go to China.
Our biggest place that people watch us is New York. That's our number one demographic is New York.
Yeah, because I'm from Brooklyn and I'm from New York, and they love me.
And so New York watches us. New Jersey watches us a lot. The UK watches us a lot.
Yep, New Jersey loves me too.
And
well, the Guineas, the Guidos in New Jersey.
Yeah, but California people don't love us.
No, California people are drunk. They're always drinking, so they wouldn't know us if they fell over us.
That's right. Funny.
Don't they like to drink out here? I've never seen people drink like in California. Florida, New York, they drink in New York, but not like California. California, no matter where you go, they have a glass in their hand.
So
I guess you have to be a little high to live here.
So here's some updates for some different things, you guys. Again, we want to make sure everybody knows The Beast Inside is out. We want you guys to check it out. Also, my movie Purgatorium is on Tubi. And yesterday we put a teaser trailer up for another film called Get Her. It's on the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell YouTube channel. So check it out. It's really short, only like a minute and a half, but you should check it out. And that's
Am I in Get Me?
No, you're not in that one. And that movie will be coming out sometime soon. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, you guys. I gotta turn this off.
I missed the movie.
Actually, talk for a second.
Talk for a second.
Yeah, that's the hospital calling me.
I could talk for.
Hello.
That's his hospital calling. Tomorrow I have to get up at 4:00 in the morning. I think earlier maybe, and drive to the Redlands because Jimmy has had 3 surgeries. This is Jimmy's 3rd surgery. The first knee they put in was a half a kneecap, and it was crooked. It didn't work. So then he had a second operation, and they put a kneecap in too big. So now they have to take that one out, scrape all of the scar tissue, and put the proper knee in so he can walk correctly. Hopefully this surgery will make it. But they said this is a very, very painful surgery because it's the 3rd one. So, you know, I'm a little apprehensive of what's going to be with this surgery. So, you know, I find that most people who have their knees replaced, it's a crapshoot. Some have great success and walk beautifully, and some have difficulty. So it's all according to the doctor and how you heal, and if you go to therapy. So Jimmy's pretty good with all of that. And I think the 3rd one will be a success. So everybody get in his corner and root for him, okay? That the 3rd surgery will be a success and Jimmy will walk like he used to walk before his knee went.
Sorry about that, everybody. And they called for my time, and they have changed it. So my surgery is at 1, so I don't have to be there till 11.
Oh, so I don't have.
So we don't have to get up at 4 in the morning.
Oh, good. That's such a that's such a nice thing because 4 in the morning, it's night.
That wrecks him too because he's got to take me and go with me.
Right, it's nighttime, and I hate driving in the nighttime when it's really morning.
Yes, so we don't have to leave until like 9:30 or 10 in the morning.
Right, because when I'm on a movie, sometimes I have to get up at 5:00 in the morning to get to makeup and hair or whatever they're going to do.
Oh my God, that's
wardrobe.
Terrible.
You know, so you're
so terrible.
You're up at like 5:00 and you're driving to LA or wherever you're going to film. So
anyway,
I like to sleep till 10:00 every day.
I'm happy. It just means that I won't be. out of it because it's a 4 or 5 hour surgery, so I won't be done with surgery till 5 or 6 at night.
Right.
But anyway, so that's where we're at, you guys. And I was going to say something else, but I forgot what. But more people have joined us in the chat room. Hey, everybody in the chat room. And thanks for all the prayers and the well wishes. And they're saying that the worst part about having your surgery at a later time is the fact that you can't eat anything after midnight. So that's even like longer. So I don't get to eat anything for like.
So you lose a few pounds.
Yeah, I can lose some weight, you guys. I'm still trying to lose a little bit more. Since my last surgery, I've lost like 15 pounds. And since my first surgery, I've lost 24 pounds.
He was fat, I guess.
I was fat like when I first met him.
I don't remember him being fat. I remember him being hulky. You know, he was bulky, but never fat. No, not like a muscle-bound person.
I know, I'm never that.
No, don't get over yourself, baby. Not muscular, just hulky, bulky.
Yes.
Like a big like a hamster. Bulky.
All right.
A hamster's bulky?
Hamsters are not bulky.
I wish
hamsters are rat. Like a rat.
They're not rats, hamsters. They're cute.
I used to have one.
Of course you did. I know what you did with it too.
No, I didn't. I'm not. No, that's gerbils that they used to do that with.
Gerbils?
Gerbils did that, not rats. That was Richard Gere and the gerbil, which I don't think that's a real story.
Bullshit. That was all some screwball. You know, the media puts out such garbage. Don't believe the media, folks. I mean, they just make press. They wake up on Monday and they say, okay, what can we lie about to make people read us and listen to us? And then they create a lie. And then people think it's the truth. I mean, it's just nonsense. Believe what happens, but don't believe what they say can happen because they don't know the future and they don't know their asses from their elbows. So forget it. I'm done with the media.
So I want everybody to check out Dark Frights magazine. Go to darkfrights.com. And I turned my ringer off because I had to leave it on because I knew they were going to call. So Dark Frights mag, you guys. And I guess we could bring on our first guest. What do you think?
We have to bring on our first guest. Yes, that's what we are. We're a show. We bring on our guests. So that's what we do.
Well, do you have anything else you want to talk about before you have another
just
minute?
How magnificent I am and how beautiful I am and how intelligent I am and how funny I am and how wonderful I am and how terrific I am and also how modest I am.
So B said she had a hamster named Sebastian. They love the name.
B?
Yeah.
And then she killed it and ate it.
And no, she didn't kill it and eat it.
You ate the hamster?
And they love the name Sebastian. And then they said the hamster would have red glasses like me.
Oh, okay.
I love these glasses. All right.
So it was a gay hamster?
No, it wasn't a gay hamster. Red doesn't make you gay.
Those red glasses make you very gay.
I get so many compliments on the glasses.
Yeah, because they know you're a fairy. They know you're a fruit. But if you were supposed to be straight, you wouldn't like the compliments you get.
No, everybody loves them. They love the pink ones the best. I get a lot of compliments
pink
on the
glasses on. Yeah, you really look butch.
I really am though, going bald. Look.
Yeah, you're butch. And pink glasses make you very butch.
I am. I'm butch. So let's bring in our first guest. All right, well, let's let him in. Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good. I wanted to make sure I could hear you. Make sure you speak up, just because we want to make sure we can hear you. And now I'm going to introduce you now that we can hear you. So, you guys, now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. And this dude has a lot of titles, you guys. Actor, producer, stuntman, stunt coordinator, comedian, blacksmith, voiceover artist, and puppeteer, Bryan Forrest. Hello and welcome to the show. Did I miss anything?
I was going to say, when you're an actor in Hollywood and you bounce when you walk and you're always hungry, you can't be a waiter. So I've just kind of adopted any hat they'll let me wear in the industry. So if you name it on a film set, I've probably done it.
There you go. I love it. So this is our cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
Hey, Brian, answer me a question. If you saw a man with pink eyeglasses, would you think he was a faggot?
I have these glasses in pink. I am gay.
I was gonna say. I think it takes a real man to wear pink, and I think as long as it accentuates your skin tone or says a little something about your personality, or if you're just trying to catch people's attention and make a statement, I think anybody can wear anything.
My favorite color. I wear it all everywhere. I have every color of pink polo shirt that's ever been made.
Jimmy's just a fairy that loves pink.
Yeah.
I was gonna say one of my first modeling jobs was literally for a magazine called Fairy Magazine, and I was holding an owl and I was wearing glitter and ears. But I am just a basic cisgendered white straight male. But I think I look amazing with a glitter beard, so I don't think anyone's ever gonna stop me from wearing glitter. So I think I make it look good.
You know what? I knew Rock Hudson. I knew
Fair enough.
I didn't know him well. I knew him a little bit, and
he might not be old enough to
know who Rock Hudson is.
He's young.
Of course, I was just gonna say I was warned that there might be some dated references, and I was like, "Are you kidding?" I literally grew up. My first crush was Ann Miller. I got to meet Esther Williams.
Ann Miller?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I knew Ann also. I knew Ann.
Oh.
I knew Ann in her old age when she was hunchback. She was so bent over when she walked. Her nose almost was on the floor. And I was in a Chinese restaurant in Beverly Hills, and Ann came in. And of course, on my way out, I stopped at her table. And there she was with her face this far from the plate because she was so hunched over. Bad rheumatism. And I thought to myself, this dancer of dancers, nobody could tap like Ann Miller. No one. And look at her now, old lady bent over. So you see, enjoy your youth while you have it.
I thought you were about 25 or 30 and prematurely gray, so I'm surprised you know Ann Miller, so good for you. His best friend was Jane Russell. So I'm sure if you know Ann Miller, you know Jane Russell.
Of course. My Ann Miller story, you interrupted it.
You were at the end of it.
I wasn't at the end of it. She looked up at me to say hi, but she couldn't lift her body, so she looked like that with one eye, and I thought she looked like Quasimodo. You know, that it was weird. And that was the last time I ever saw her, and then she passed away.
So just
Ann Miller was very nice. Annie, they called her.
Yeah.
She was a regular girl. She was no movie star. Annie was real down to earth and sweet.
When I got to meet Esther Williams, I actually asked her about Ann Miller, saying that, I was a big fan of Esther's work and everything. And I said, but, that's who my first love was Ann Miller. And she goes, I met Ann Miller a couple times at the studio functions. And she goes, and I was like, oh, what did you talk about? And she goes, well, I walked right up to her and said, Ann, you do a lot of amazing things, but if you ever get in a pool, I'll break your fucking legs. And I was like, what? And she goes, because Ann could do anything. So she's like, Esther was like, I've got one thing. I'm a swimmer. And if Ann gets in the pool, I'm done. My career's over.
Well, I've been in Esther Williams' house. Jane Russell and Esther Williams were best friends. And Jane brought me to Esther Williams' house. And I said to Esther, will you come on my TV show, which is called Set the Record Straight? And Jane said to Esther, yeah, but be careful because he asks crazy questions. And Esther said, like what? She said, well, he asked me what size bra I was. And I said, Jane, after all, you were famous for your tits. So I wanted everybody to know what size bra you were. And all you wore was a 36B. And Esther said, that's all you are, Jane? And Jane said, yeah, I'm not big at all. I'm a 36B. So I brought up the tit conversation in Esther's house. Esther was beyond belief. She made coffee and little things she's wonderful. I miss Esther. She was a lovely.
She's the swimmer, right?
The swimmer.
Yes. $1 Million Mermaid.
Lovely woman. She was, and her husband was a doll too. Sweetheart. I think he's still alive.
Ron knows everything about the golden age of Hollywood. He did stuff with, he worked with the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation with Elizabeth Taylor.
I grew up in it.
He knew, who's the other one everybody gets so upset? Who's the other the biggest one? Betty Davis.
Oh, Betty. Yeah.
He knew Betty Davis.
Yes.
He knew a whole bunch of them. Tab Hunter. He knows all of them.
Because back in 50 years ago, imagine I could talk about, I'm 84. So 50 years ago, Hollywood was very little. It was not a big place. It was a town, a little town, and you could see these people and meet them at parties and become friendly with them. Today, it's an impossibility because J-Lo, if you look at her, she has you arrested, and the rest of these jerks, these stupid young actors of today think who the fuck they are, and you can't talk to them. Angelina Jolie grew up in my house in Beverly Hills. She went to school with my daughter, Deirdre. So Angie, I made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for Angie, and she swam in my pool in my house in Beverly Hills. So I don't think if I saw Angie today, I ran into her about 15 years ago in a drugstore in Beverly Hills, and she was with her then husband,
Billy Bob.
Billy Bob, and she was very sweet and very nice, but not friendly. I mean, not encouragingly friendly. So the stars of today don't have the grace, class, or warmth of the stars of years ago. Even Betty Davis, who was a bitch at times, tough broad, very tough. Watch what you said.
Yeah.
Oh, if you had to watch your P's and Q's around that one. If you said something she didn't like, she shut you down in 1 second. She didn't give a shit about feelings. She told it like it was. But if she liked you, she was a doll. So I find Hollywood today not the same.
All right.
I think that's fair, yeah.
I'm going to steer this conversation a little bit. First of all, where are you? Are you in California?
I am. I'm in LA. I was born and raised in Orange County and then went to UC Santa Barbara and then moved to LA. I'm definitely a West Coast kind of guy.
Wow.
Why did you leave Santa Barbara for that sewer?
I
love
it's too expensive. We think it's expensive in LA, but Santa Barbara, once I graduated, I was like, can't afford to stick around. Gotta go to the big city.
Jane lived up in Santa Barbara for a while.
Montecito, I think too. Yeah.
And then she moved.
Yeah.
She OD'd on booze and was hospitalized, and her son went and bought a house up in where the hell was it? I used to go there all the time. I forgot. North of Santa Barbara. And Jane was miserable because she loved Santa Barbara. She had
it's beautiful.
She had a boat at one time, and all her friends were there.
Okay, so hang on.
And then I used to go to the other one, the next to Santa Barbara. What the hell is it called? Montecito, where Tab Hunter lived. So I'm very familiar with there. I would live there in a minute if I could afford it.
Exactly. Someday, maybe.
I love Santa Barbara. I love it so much.
Just so you know, the chat room loves your smile.
You're very cute. Are you straight or gay?
He's straight.
I am straight.
Oh, you got.
I went to theater school, so I definitely know I'm straight.
You have a girlfriend?
Fiance, yeah.
Oh, good for you. Congratulations.
You have a girlfriend?
Thank you.
Fiance. Did you give her a nice ring or cheap one?
A nice one, actually. We've been together for 11 years.
Wow.
We actually this last fall, we went to Edinburgh Fringe and did stand-up. And so afterwards we ran away to the Isle of Skye, which is, where they filmed just all these, 80s fantasy movies that we grew up with. So, we went to a place called Fairy Pools, which is basically a series of very treacherous waterfalls coming down off the mountains.
The question is, you had 11 years of premarital pussy. Now, how big was the diamond is what I want to know.
Funny enough, she's not a diamond kind of gal. She'd actually given me a ring because I was there for her. Her older sister had passed away from cancer when she was fairly young. Yeah, and so a lot of her friends just kind of couldn't handle that in their early 20s and stuff, that the emotional weight of all of that. But I stuck around and I was there for her. So she actually gave me a ring that says in Gaelic, Anam Cara, which actually means soul friend, which can be romantic or it could just be, it's your soul recognizing a counterpart in another. So basically oh, go ahead.
I was kidding and teasing you, of course.
Of course.
Give me her phone number. I'll call and educate her.
Basically, she'd given me this ring as like a thank you, and I used to wear it on red carpets to get people to leave me alone. It's like a fake ring. But she gave that to me. We hadn't even started dating yet. And so here we are 11 years later after we'd actually started dating, and I gave it back to her. And I said what I thought was very funny, that our relationship had come full circle. She didn't even blink because she's the funny one. She's the stand-up comic. But she did say yes. And we were witnessed by the fairies there, as well as a lot of very nosy sheep in the Scottish Highlands from our proposal.
So she hung around for 11 years. Give me her phone number.
Well, hey, it took me that long to convince her that getting married was a good thing. She was raised by a burn your bra hippie, very hippie parents. So she didn't want any sort of like, she's like, I'll never get married. I don't want no government involved or anything like that. And I said, well, at least for the tax purposes, we should at least probably sign a piece of paper.
There you go.
No, she's stupid because I have to call her. Because if you're married and the marriage doesn't work, you got to support her in her lifestyle for 2 years and she gets money. If you don't marry her, you kick her out. She's in the street with shit.
No, you have. Well, anyway, that's not a good conversation. Anyway,
what's not a good conversation? Everybody loves this kind of conversation.
A lot of people,
we're going to get to his career. You know, I don't ask those questions because my audience gets bored. They said, we don't give a shit about what his career
they're
is.
asking about it now.
He's sweet. He's very cute, and we want to know his private life. So I'm the one that goes into the private life.
Usually that we do that after we do the career stuff. So let's do some career stuff.
Some career stuff. Wait a minute. He does too many things to even talk about.
No, he doesn't.
Shut.
No, it's my turn.
Wait,
my turn to talk.
Yeah, but I want to ask him a question. How are you a blacksmith? There are no horses in L.A.
So, okay. I was going to say, I think this is a question from both of you because this is quasi-career.
This is something that I want to know about the because you're our first blacksmith. 17 years, we've never had anybody who's a blacksmith, especially anybody who's been a blacksmith on some of the biggest things in Hollywood that you can be in.
So yeah, we'll keep it interesting. We'll keep the historical stuff short, but basically, a blacksmith just means that you heat up metal, you hit it with a hammer, and you make something out of it. So people that work with horses, those are called farriers. So they're specifically making horseshoes, working in the Old West. You know, Knott's Berry Farm, I think they still have some. That was the first ones growing up in Orange County that I remember ever seeing. But what I actually do as far as blacksmithing is concerned is medieval arms and armor, meaning, you know, suits of armor and then weapons, so swords, axes, and things for the entertainment industry. So when I first moved to LA, like I said, I didn't want to be a waiter. So I was like, I got to get a day job and I'd like it to be something in the industry. And I actually grew up working in industrial machine shops and working in my dad's shop. So I found this place that makes all the swords and stuff. And since I also do stunt work, I was like, great, I want some of these swords. And I said, hey, are you hiring? And they said, I don't know, actor, we don't really want your kind around here. You're accident prone. And I said, well, I actually know how to use all these things growing up around here. And I'm also real good at sweeping the floor. And so they went, all right, we'll give you a chance. Maybe we'll give you a call. And literally 8 days later, they said, hey, what are you doing for the next 2 weeks? And I said, nothing. They said, great, bring a sleeping bag. We got to make 2 sets of horse armor in 8 days for some big award show. And so they're like, if you survive this, you have a job here. And it was awful. It was awful. I almost lost a finger, almost lost a toe. But like I survived. And then I've been working off and on there for 13 and a half years now. Anytime things get slow, I go and I work on Marvel movies or Star Wars projects and all kinds of weird stuff. That's my go-to day job instead of bartending or working at Starbucks or anything.
I love it. So I have a question. Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
So
we fight all the time with a question.
Do you also play a blacksmith? Because like I think some of the stuff
I have.
I wrote that you played a blacksmith in Babylon. Is that right?
I was going to say, not for, I helped Tony. Basically, the owner of the shop I work at is Tony Swatton. He's literally been doing this since before I was born. And he's made stuff he made the Hook and Hook. He made, Blade's sword for all the Blade movies. The first Thor's hammer, he worked on that. He made the Infinity Gauntlet, the real metal one, not the CGI one. So I worked on Babylon, but then I played a blacksmith in like shows like Mythic Quest on Apple TV and stuff like that, where they're like, hey, we want to do this for real. And then actually Tony and I got to go to set and work with Bryce Dallas Howard for an episode of The Mandalorian / like Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, because the character there, the armorer, Emily Swallow, who's just amazing. She's now a friend of the Forge and we hang out and we all blacksmith together. Because she's like, well, if I'm playing the blacksmith, I got to learn how to do it. So we actually got to go to set on their, $500 million soundstage with, the big volume they have there and actually do live blacksmithing. And they were not happy to see us. The TD was like, what is that? And I said, oh, that's a 50-gallon propane tank. He's like, so that's a bomb. And I went, I mean, kind of. And he's like, what do you have in that box? I was like, oh, it's just a bunch of different types of like corrosive acid. And he's like, what about that bag? And I was like, oh, it's just full of metal dust. And he goes, that is $500 million worth of electronics. I don't want to why are you here? And he tried to kick us out. And Bryce had to be like, no, they're supposed to be here. And we weren't allowed in the actual volume. They brought some of those floating panel screens over to us. so we could set it up and actually do like inserts on the show. There's a scene, not to give anything away, there's a scene where they take a spear and they turn it into chainmail. And if you notice, there's like some like close-up shots of that process. So that's actually real. And we actually got to do that on set.
So you're
great crafting.
You're a blacksmith on the Book of Boba Fett. We actually have Daniel Logan coming on, who was Boba Fett in the original Star Wars movies.
Yes.
Then you were also a blacksmith on Black Adam with Dwayne Johnson, Pierce Brosnan, Aldous Hodge, and Henry Winkler. And also for Babylon with Gene Smart, Margot Robbie, Flea, Eric Roberts, Olivia Wilde, Kai Garber, Patrick Fugit, and Brad Pitt. I mean, those are like the biggest movies like on the fucking planet, though. So I think, it's a very cool thing that you got to do.
Well, it's a funny thing. People always see that resume. And like, I've also worked on stuff for every Disneyland park on the planet that is in the parks that you can go see. And people go, what's it like to work on these Marvel movies and stuff like that? And I go, like any art department person, I don't know, because I was literally in a warehouse in Burbank. And then some little art PA comes, picks it up and takes it to set. And we go, okay, on to the next. So I didn't get to go. So I didn't actually get to go on set, but we got to play with all this stuff beforehand.
You also, though, because you did a lot of reality TV stuff as a blacksmith, right?
I have, yeah. I was gonna say I do a lot of hosting stuff as well. So we've done a lot of different like shows where we're like, hey, what would it take to actually blacksmith these things from either like animated series or from like, Batman or like James Bond and stuff like that. So we've actually done shows where like, here's what it would actually take to make those things. And then we do one of my favorites, being a stuntman and a stunt coordinator, is we test them. So we've literally bought like $500 cars and then brought them in like some sort of Street Fighter level. And we've taken these swords from like Game of Thrones that we forged for real. And then we just destroy the car with them, like stabbing through windshields and things, just to be like, how effective are they? And people are like, yes, for science. And we go, yes, for science. That's why we do this.
Okay, so go back to stunt. So you have stunt coordinator and stunt man. Tell everybody the difference between the two. I
so
know
basically, oh yeah. I mean, I never thought you didn't, Jimmy. Don't worry. Yeah, so yeah, a stunt performer, stunt man, but nowadays it's anyone can be a stunt performer. Is basically the person on camera falling out of the building, getting lit on fire, falling off a horse, sword fighting, what have you. And then the stunt coordinator, just like any kind of department head, is in charge of basically coordinating that action to make sure it is done safely, but then also to make sure all the action is done in support of the story. I hate action for the sake of action. I've definitely worked with directors where they're like, it'd be great if he does a backflip. And I'm like, he's in a cafe, he's on a date. Why would he do a backflip? Like, so a lot of that my acting training and kind of, coming from the theater as well, for my whole life, to really support, we want to make sure the action is actually supporting the story, because then it makes people care. A lot of times I've fallen asleep during action movies.
That's his problem.
Was it wrong?
He hates it when, like, especially in horror movies, when people just get killed, but you don't even give a shit about them. So who cares?
Yes.
They don't
Thank you.
There's no character.
Yeah.
No character development.
Now, I'm going to drop another name. I knew Burt Reynolds pretty well, right, Jimmy?
Yes.
Burt and I were like, I would say we were friends. And one time at lunch, I said to him, listen, Burt, when you were doing stunts, did you ever hurt yourself? He looked at me. He said, I don't have a fucking bone in my body that's not broken. And then he started to tell me his injuries, neck, shoulder, hip, knee, ankle, head. I thought, Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
He said he almost died one time on a movie. Yeah, really, because he was badly hurt.
Technology's really improved, yeah.
Let's speed forward. And Bert is old. Now, Bert is like 80 or whatever. And I went up to Jupiter to see him. And he wasn't good.
That's in Florida.
In Florida. He wasn't in good shape. I mean, he was in such pain. His entire body hurt always. And he said, it's because of the stunts. I said, really, Bert, you're paying for all that work now in your old age? He said, yep. He said, Ron, I can't move half of my body.
Oh,
Because of my stunt work. He really did stuff. I mean, he was crazy. Burt Reynolds,
he's famous for doing like as many of the stunts as they would let him do. He's like, great, I'll do it.
Not just falling down. I mean, big time stuff.
He did driving. He did driving ones. He, I think a couple times he went through walls in fights and stuff. Yeah.
Everything. So to finalize the Burt Reynolds conversation, he was everybody's friend. He was a pal. He was a dreamboat. I loved Burt a lot. We all did. And sorry, he's gone. But Burt Reynolds, people out there, he was a regular Joe. He was not a movie star.
He was.
I love that. I was gonna say, yeah, safety is definitely the technology. When I first started in stunts, you know, I came to LA in 2000, end of 2009. And there was still, you know, most stunt coordinators were from the cowboy scene. Everyone comes through stunts through different things, whether you were like some sort of like motorcycle rider or a figure skater or a circus performer. I came from like the theater, like sword fighting Shakespeare, and then like the Western. So like what we call like cowboy stunts, riding a horse and stuff like that. So a lot of the people that I worked with were those guys that, you know, their heyday of the 70s, and they were all about like, you don't need a pad. And they'd call people names if they wanted a pad and stuff like that. And it was very much like, oh, did you break your arm? We'll do 2 more takes. Then we'll get a PA to drop you off at the hospital. And so I was like, oh, maybe I don't want to do this. But I was very fortunate that, you know, when I started to make the transition to coordinator, because you got to be a performer first. You got to know how to do it. What does it take before you ask someone else to do it and to trust you? You know, it's all about stunt people. It's a very close-knit community because you're trusting everyone with your life. You know, so that you don't end up.
Did you ever?
Oh yeah, They're and
what'd you do?
Was my worst one? I will say to a disclaimer here. A disclaimer here is that things are much better. And my mentor was this wonderful stunt coordinator woman who now is one of the leading industry coordinators named Jessica Aaron Bennett. And her whole thing was like, you look at these movie stars and they can't move. You know, all these stuntmen are, you know, they turn 50 and they're like, my body don't work no more. And you're like, well, that's not great. So she's like, there's never a 0% chance of injury. She's like, it's going to happen, but we got to do the work. We got to embrace technology, do the research to make sure the injuries are minimized, the risk of injury is minimized. However, I have done creature, you know, things where actors just full on punch you right in the skull, or, you know, where you're doing a big fight and somebody misjudges and they almost cave in your skull with like an actual war hammer. I've literally done horse falls where they're like, hey, there's not enough time. And I go, well, I haven't worked with the horse. And they're like, no, the horse knows what they're doing. And I'm like, all right. And I, you know, come in a full gallop. I've literally come in a full gallop in full armor with a shield and a big old sword. And a guy jumps out with an axe and he's supposed to hit me and knock me off the horse. Fine. But as soon as he jumps out and he goes, the horse goes, no thanks, rears up and just throws me into a tree.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, okay, normal Tuesday. That's great. But the funny thing is that a lot of these, what you would think are dangerous stunts being set on fire. A lot of our underwater, I've done a lot of underwater work where I've literally been like gorilla duct tape around my wrist, my ankles, my mouth, and just turned upside down in a fully blacked out pool and just shoved underwater. So you definitely got to find a little namaste moment there to slow your heart rate down so you can stay underwater as long as possible. But things like that, honestly, those aren't the stunts that worry me. You know, you always do your due diligence. You always got to make sure everything's safe. You trust the safety team, the stunt team, stuff like that. But even some of the smallest things, I literally did a commercial as an actor where I'm talking about this like video game and I'm just like walking and talking. And basically there's these 2 guys that are supposed to be like shadow boxing and they didn't even have a coordinator. So the first day he's like, don't touch each other. Don't freaking touch each other. There's no stunt coordinator. And they're like, yeah, no worries. And I was just supposed to like walk and talk. And I walk between him and this like 6'5", like ultra heavyweight guy just full on punches me in the side of the head. And I'm like the host.
Did they hit you?
Oh yeah, just
the host of the commercial, so you're not supposed to touch anybody.
I'm not supposed. I'm literally like I'm wearing like a suit. I'm just like hello, blah blah blah, and this guy just like punches me and knocks me down, and I pop up, and I'm like looked at him, and he goes, "Sorry," and I'm like, "What?" And then they're like, "Hey, do you want to like take a minute, and then we'll get back to filming?" And I'm like, "Oh my god!" So it's funny enough. You always kind of be on your toes, as you both know. A film set is an inherently dangerous place. There's a lot of gear. There's a lot of things going on. So it is like when I stunt coordinate, I always, in my safety meeting speech, I always say, please, safety is everybody's job. Help me help you, send you home in the same condition, if not better, that you arrived in.
We've had
Well,
we've had a lot of stunt coordinators on, and we've had a lot of stunt actors on.
Right.
More actors than coordinators, but we know a lot of them. I don't know if you know who Kane Hodder's a stunt coordinator, and he's a friend of mine, and I know all the horror people in horror.
I was just gonna say I know him through the horror. Yeah, the horror world. Yeah.
I said I could do a stunt in a movie I was in, and I played a mafia guy, and this gigantic rat the size of a Volkswagen was supposed to come and grab me and throw me across the room and rip my arm off, I believe, tear my arm off. And
classic.
I began to do it, and suddenly someone runs on the set and said, "Hold it, Ron, how old are you?" At the time, I was like maybe 80.
81, I think.
81. Yeah. And he said, "You can't do this. We don't have a stunt person on board. So what are we going to do?" It's the end of the movie.
It's literally the culmination.
What they did was, so that I wouldn't be injured, they said that my character went down in the basement and the rat ripped my arm off in the basement. So now you see the rat coming up from the basement with my arm in it, and you identify it by my wristwatch. So I was grateful because I thought, Jesus, if they're going to be throwing me around like that, I could bust a hip. So you see, they do protect you. But they
things have gotten a lot better.
They should have.
It also depends on the budget, I think. Too.
Well, you should have been on the set. You could have been my double, not with a beard, but you know.
Okay, so here I want to go switch the topic. We're going to talk about your Jason Voorhees stuff in a minute, but I want to talk about one other thing because I want to understand like what it is. So I'm very familiar with Ultraman. You have a lot of Ultraman stuff on your IMDb, but are you actually Ultraman? Like, because I don't know what Ultraman Victory. I haven't seen any Ultraman things in a long time.
Who the hell is Ultraman?
Just wait a second. Like, people know. Every time I go to Walmart, I see Ultraman like action figures. Are you actually
Ultraman? Yes. So basically, the Ultraman you're seeing now is basically Netflix. I believe it was Netflix bought the rights to create new stuff. But so basically, the creator of Ultraman was approached in the late 80s, early 90s to basically say, hey, we want to Americanize this. And he said, no. Japanese creators are very, very, I've done this a lot with anime as well, that they're very protective. Their artwork is who they are. So if the artwork is misinterpreted or disrespected, they take it very, very personally. It doesn't matter that they get a check for however much money. However, Power Rangers creator said yes.
Saban.
Power Rangers now a multi-billion-dollar franchise for the last 40 years. So basically, when he's getting older, and he was like, "Hey, maybe I'm open to basically at least dubbing over the movies." So I am an English dub voice actor for the live-action Ultraman franchise. So we did like 10 or 12, and then it's also very rare to voice over more than one Ultraman. There's never been anyone who gets to be more than one. So I am Ultraman Victory, which, Ron, it's basically, these are, some sort of like quasi sci-fi fantasy people who basically find things that power them up. And it's very much like those old Godzilla movies where they're now 300 feet tall and they fight in these giant kind of like rubber suits. So it's very almost kitschy, but like in a classic sort of like Japanese horror monster kind of way. So basically, I am the English dub. I am the English dub of Ultraman Victory, and then actually later, because they couldn't find anyone that they liked for the voice to kind of voice match the actor, is that I am the voice for Ultraman Dyna for when he's older. So when that actor actually came back in the 90s and early 2000s to read, his character. So I'm technically the only one who's ever done two. But yeah, no, that was just in a studio. I actually recently got to stunt coordinate a movie whose inspiration was Ultraman. So it was really great because I got to be on set and stunt coordinate like big monster fights and like crush a city and stuff like that.
I love it. I'm going to get the Ultraman action figure. I collect action figures of anybody who's been on the show, and we've had everybody, has action figures. So I have an extensive action figure collection, and we've had a bunch of Power Rangers people on the show. I love the Power Rangers. I have a lot of them in my collection also, but I just thought that was the coolest thing because I was looking at it and you're like, Ultraman, you're in the series of films, Ultraman Victory 13 episode TV series. Like you're in like a lot of it. Like you're like Ultraman. That's like a big deal. for people who don't really watch that kind of stuff, it's not a big deal. But for like, it's huge.
I have no idea who Ultraman is. I've never seen it. Have I ever seen one?
No, you've never seen it.
So where did he come from, Ultraman?
Oh, I don't know. It's Japanese.
Japan. Oh yeah. It's basically in the vein of Godzilla. You know, like with the same creator as Godzilla and stuff like that. The same studios and stuff like that. So it's basically like their kids show version, and it was a TV show for a long time.
He's like a Superman and a Batman.
Exactly. Yeah. Think of it like most are Earthlings, but they basically get powers, and then they basically can transform into these ginormous, kind of alien entities.
People?
No, he's like that though. That you're thinking Power Rangers. He's like it's like the Japanese version of Power Rangers.
No, the ninja people, the little ninja things.
Yeah, he's like a Japanese version of that.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna say Power Rangers is originally Japanese as well.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
But
I know the Power Rangers. We had them on.
Yeah.
Oh, we had them.
I was actually the one who killed himself. Now I forgot his name because I'm on the air.
Jason,
David Frank.
Yeah. No, I had the pleasure of meeting him a few times. Actually, Power Rangers. So in the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers that Jason was on, there's the. So do you remember the original show in like the 90s and stuff? There was like the two punk alt bully kids named Bulk and Skull.
Yep.
Like there's one heavier guy and skinny guy. So the skinnier guy, his name is Jason Narvi. And when I went to UC Santa Barbara, I was going to be an engineer or like a history teacher, mechanical engineering history teacher. And I saw for, your general education requirements, they had like an intro to acting and growing up the theater and stuff like that. I was like, easy 4 units. Jason Narvi, frickin' Skullovich from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was my professor because he was getting a PhD at the time. And he made me re-fall in love with acting. We did like scenes from Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, and watching him work and him giving me notes reinvigorated me and went, oh no, my parents are going to be so mad. I want to be an actor. Oh no, I went to college to be like an engineer or a history teacher. And so, so I blame Jason Narvi. He knows. He played my dad in a movie after I graduated.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah.
Brian, you must never ever again say, you must never ever again say, I want to be an actor. You must say, I am an actor. There's a big difference.
Yes, sir. That was at the time. I was like 18.
Yes, that was at the time.
If you were auditioning, if anyone auditions for us and they say, I want to be an actor, I say, okay, go to school. But if you say, I am an actor, I say, what have you done? So there's a big difference there.
Yes.
A definite, you have to be, in this fucking business.
I love that.
You have to con everybody into who you are. I mean, you got to lie, cheat, and steal to get a part in a movie. It's very difficult.
My favorite college professor was Sage Parker Lang, who's Mary Louise Parker's older sister, who had her own career for the longest time before a safety concern. She was severely injured on set, and then she went into teaching. And so she said, you are your brand. As an actor, you are in marketing. You're your brand. If you don't believe in the product, why would anybody else believe in it? And she actually brought in April Webster.
I say it all the time. Some people, here's what I say. If I were a plumber and I talked about a clogged toilet, you wouldn't get upset about it. You just listen. But if I'm an actor and I talk about a movie I'm in, you get upset. You get jealous, you get envious, you get nasty, or you just tune me out. I don't like people that tune me out. I'm an actor. That's my craft. So I talk about my job just like you talk about your job as a waiter or a plumber. Only thing is, actors are very, very envied. Everybody wants to be famous. Everybody wants to sign autographs. Everybody wants to be an actor. So being an actor, you have to keep your mouth shut. And then they think you're stuck up or dull because you don't talk about yourself. Well, how can I talk about myself when you think I'm conceited or who the hell I am? It's difficult. I'm in the business 64 years.
I get that.
I still have difficulty with it. After 64 years, you would think I would have found a solution. There is no solution.
Let me know.
The only time you could talk about being an actor is with other actors, and they don't listen. They want to tell you about themselves. So it's a difficult.
I do like being on set though, because I feel like being on set when everyone's working, I feel like that is a great time. And having worked in so many different departments, I'm in this weird kind of place where I am accepted by art department. I am accepted, by stunts, acting, stuff like that. So even if I'm working like just as an actor and I'm dealing with, they're suiting me up in armor. I literally did a commercial last year where I was wearing armor and the costumers were like, hey, forgive us. It's going to take us a minute. We haven't done a lot of work in armor. And I go, if you don't mind. And that's the thing, you got to approach it respectfully. You got to stay in your lane. You don't want to step on his toes and just go, hey, if you don't mind, I can help. I am actually a professional armorer. Armor as in with armor, not as in like the PPE firearms. Yeah.
I have 6 movies coming up this year.
I heard, yeah.
And the whole, a lot of movies are coming in now. Because now the money's loosening up, we're getting funded. And
yes,
I sometimes have to hold back from saying it because I sound conceited or like I'm bragging. But no, this is what I fucking do.
See, I feel like for people, though, is that what a lot of people don't understand is that, like, when people talk about, coming from that conservatory BFA program at UCSB, obviously I knew all the upperclassmen. So when they went off to New York or LA and they're talking about all these things, it made me excited. And I think I had really good mentors and a really good community that kind of instilled in me is that when I see people working, I get excited because that means there is work to go and get. I don't, I try never to be, it doesn't, of course it always happens. Like you said, you get jealous. Oh, I know, but that's the kind of thing that I work a lot actually with film schools, teaching them how to work with stunt departments and stuff like that, of how to be safe about things and, instill in the next generation of filmmakers. And they always go like, do you ever get jealous? Like you're here working with us and I know for a fact you have a friend that just went off to work on this Marvel movie. And I go, no, there's no way. Like, how do I know that it was me instead of them? Like the only reason I didn't get the part is because they got the part. It's like, I want to be excited for my friends. My community is whoever is going to be supportive, whoever is making art, whoever is just being a supportive person. So I've had friends reach out to me.
You're very unusual, actually.
Yeah, and you know what? But I would like to become the usual. So I think the only way you can get good around you is to put good out there, and hopefully that comes back to you.
I love it. So now we're gonna.
Jimmy wants to change the subject.
Yeah, we have to change the subject because I don't want to run out of time and not talk about all the different.
Fair.
Things I want to talk about. So now one of your things, and this will be happy for all our horror movie fans. You're in the Never Hike Alone series. I don't know. I think there's 2 of them and a third one coming out, and you play Jason Voorhees.
There's 3, and then basically because they were always made as an anthology, the creator Vincent DeSanti is actually like kind of recuts them, adds in more footage that they shoot, and then he's now actually embarking on that I'm not involved with, kind of a new series, kind of based on his own original series. And it was really great being on that. I actually met Vinny working on this like indie sci-fi movie. And it was in the snow and it was awful. But basically, I was stunt coordinating and then I was also stunt doubling in it. And so he was like, hey, you don't seem to panic when things are going crazy. You don't mind being at crazy high altitudes and freezing to death. I'm developing these movies. Do you want to be a part of them? And I was like, maybe. And he wanted me to stunt coordinate. And I was really busy at the time. And I was like, oh man, to stunt coordinate features, like that's kind of your life. And I was doing all these different things, wearing too many hats. But basically I was like, okay, how about I connect you with this? Ended up being my mentor, Jessica Aaron Bennett, to stunt coordinate all these movies. And then literally as soon as she got the job, she was like, hey, so he wants to be Jason. But like he needs a stunt double and you guys are the exact same size. So you're now Jason Voorhees. Cause if I'm going to go freeze up in the mountains, you're coming with me. So we got to do 3 features across 7 years.
I mean,
oh yeah.
Jason's one of the most iconic horror people in horror. We've had everybody who played Jason on the show, all of them. We've had every single person.
And that's how I know Kane and Doug Tate and stuff like that. And
Derek Mears.
Mears. Yeah.
He's like a friend of ours.
Yeah, they're all friends of ours.
Oh.
And we even have James Stokes, who's the Jason in a bunch of the other fan films from.
Oh yeah, one of the OGs. Yeah.
So I actually took the trailer, Never Hike Alone 2 trailer. I thought we would play it for everybody real quick.
Yeah.
Since you're Jason. And So introduce it for us, and then our engineer Juan will play it, and then we'll be right back afterwards.
Of course. Hey guys, you're about to watch the trailer for Never Hike Alone 2. This is the third installment. In it, we had a lot of fun making it, and there's a lot of blood. Be warned.
And we've had Tom Matthews on the show too.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about Tom in a second. Yeah.
Take it away, Juan.
There's a legend round here.
His name was Jason.
A killer buried, but not dead. A curse on Crystal Lake.
It's got a death curse.
They're all dead. They're all dead.
Legend has it that Friday the 13th, Jason saw his mother beheaded that night.
They say he died as a boy. But he keeps coming back. You have seen him and lived. Some have even tried to stop him.
It's between me and Jason.
No one can.
Wherever the red dot goes, you bang.
You bang. People forget.
Jason's out there.
Waiting.
Waiting.
Waiting for what?
To pull me down with him.
You went into his territory, you drew him out, and now people are dead.
Jason belongs in hell, and I'm gonna see he gets there.
I freaking love
Just
it. Great trailer. It's really a good trailer.
How did it feel hitting the guy in the face with an axe?
Pretty good because I missed.
That was
Because
disgusting.
I didn't actually. Yeah.
That was really.
I was gonna say, yeah, we had an amazing makeup team.
Whoa,
They made all those prosthetics and stuff, and yeah, so it was a lot of fun. What they don't tell you about though, and I actually talked to Doug Tate about this too, because he actually came in on the last one. Well, you actually in that trailer, you kind of see like a sheriff kind of shining a flashlight at the cabin. That's also me. I also played a deputy because I was on location with them and like, we need a deputy. And then he said, oh, we also need to kill somebody. I was like, kill me. So literally in the movie, I shoot myself in the face. effectively, like as Jason, and then Vinny switched over to Jason for the final moment where I get shot in the face. But yeah.
What is Jason? Is he a zombie?
Basically, for our story, basically, there's a lot of stuff they've messed with because it's like, it's very supernatural. So they're like, is it druidic in nature? Is it just a pure like zombie? What is it? So our Jason in the franchise is considered a ghost. So he's called Ghost Jason Voorhees. So in a ghost. Yeah. So the idea being, So he basically he's the not to give too much away, but basically you saw the mom's head, on an altar. Right. So basically all of his powers, that as long as he still has that head, he's able to keep coming back. So that's why you can't kill him. And fun fact is that Pam in both Never Hike in the Snow and Never Hike Alone 2, so 2 of the movies, Pamela Voorhees is actually played by Lennon Hobson, who is my fiance.
Oh,
Which the viewers loved that they were like, oh, I love that, like, Pam and Jason in real life are together, and like talk about confusing role play. I think Bloody Disgusting said, and I was like, why? And she was like, that's hilarious. I'm putting it on my website. I was like, weird. But basically being Jason, it's so iconic. I was very nervous because I was like, if we do this wrong.
Jason is the most famous of them all, isn't he?
Jason and Michael Myers.
And the guy with the long fingernails.
Yeah,
Freddy Krueger, yeah. The fun thing too is that Vinny actually got blessing from the original creator, but obviously got a cease and desist from the studio because there's this historically, not to get into it, battle between the two. But basically, the fans consider us canon. And like, if you look on the different, fan Wikipedias about everything like that, I'm listed, which is amazing to kind of count myself amongst, Kane and Doug and like Mears and everybody who's been Jason. And getting Tom Matthews and then Vinny Gustafario, who's the original Sheriff Rick Cologne, Tommy Jarvis, to literally come back and be like, hey, we never got to see what happened to these guys. Great. Fast forward 30 years. How does it actually end?
I have a almost 7 foot Jason animatronic that you plug him in and he makes the noise and he swings.
Yes.
And he swings the thing. I have an extensive collection, and I love it.
We should get Jamie on our show.
She's from Halloween. She's not from.
I was gonna say
we should. I just thought about it.
Okay.
Of course, I knew.
She's also a big nerd. You should talk to her about World of Warcraft.
I knew her father well. Tony Curtis and I were friends. So I wonder if she would come on, because I don't think Tony didn't get along with her, so maybe not.
So I also want to mention, because we're going to run out of time here, you also played The Killer Santa and Grandma's Cookies, A Christmas Tale, starring Eileen Dietz by Michael Coulombe, who was just a guest of ours 2 weeks ago. We played the trailer then. That's why I didn't play it now, because we played it then. He had already played it. And then you did a movie called Quasi, and I don't know what it is, but Kevin Heffernan and Steve Lemmy have both been on the show. When I lived in Florida, I used to see and hang out with them a lot. And it also has Brian Cox, what an A-list star, and Adrian Palicki. What is Quasi? Is that a movie?
So that was another one where I was a blacksmith building stuff for it. It's basically the Broken Lizard guys that did Super Trooper.
I know the Broken Lizard, yes. Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of it's hard to explain. It's basically, what if there was more of a rom-com approach to the story of Quasimodo, but with the humor of Super Troopers. So we did a lot of torture gear and random swords and weird things for the film itself. But that's another one where I got to work on it, but I wasn't on set for it. Okay. But the horror movie that I've actually, if I can plug something, I've got a horror movie coming. Oh yeah.
Go.
I was gonna say the horror movie that we actually just wrapped. That Ron, I was hearing about that. You've got a movie that's dropping any day now on Tubi. I have one as well called Gnome 6: 7 Slaves Till Mithras, which is actually a Christmas slasher kind of black comedy cult film that should be dropping on Tubi. I think they're going to do the Christmas in July kind of premiere, and then Plus, and then also Amazon Prime. Or that's another one where a friend just wanted art department support. And then I was offering to, hey man, whatever you need. And then he was like, actually, do you want to audition for it? Hey, do you actually want to be the lead? Do you want to actually come on as a co-producer of it? Do you want to stunt coordinate? So we wore way too many hats. We do have more planned in that kind of franchise, but it's basically the idea of taking, people's souls and putting them into these Christmas gnomes, and they come to life. And there's a cult of Mithras, which is actually a pagan sun god, and who a lot of the like Jesus and Christmas kind of like, the dates and, even star and stuff like that. A lot of that is kind of copied over from the pagan holiday and pagan calendar. So we're like, hey, how do we mix all this stuff up? So
Gnome 6, you guys. Gnome 6, 7 slaves till Mithras. And then to your question, so Jamie Lee Curtis is in Halloween, and Halloween's killer is called Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Who's the guy with the ugly, white, long, skinny face?
Michael Myers.
Michael Myers?
With the hood?
Yeah. He looks
Ghostface. Ghostface.
Who?
Oh, you might
if it's a
Black Hood?
Yeah.
That's Ghostface. That's one of my favorites. I'm a big on that.
That's the Scream ones.
We
Yeah.
actually had Lee Waddell. We've had the people, lots of people from that on. I've had the people under the mask of every major horror thing, and
awesome.
Because I'm a big horror fan, so it's like a lot of fun. But also, we want to tell everybody,
as you can tell, I'm in horror movies, but
he
never
doesn't watch them.
So I have no idea who these people are. I have never seen Halloween. I have never seen any of them. I can't. I sit there and I say to myself, this is sadistic shit. And it's ruining the minds of young people. And it's making a lot of people crazy.
I have 5.
Now you got people by putting people on fire and doing horrible things. And I think it's influenced by these movies. If it were up to myself, I would ban all horror movies. I think.
Why do you like making them though? What kind of do you like them because they?
What he gets offered?
No, because I select my parts. My horror movies are not ever super bloody. They're very, very.
He never gets blood on him, so
nobody gets blood on me, and I don't die in them.
Do you like it for the psychology of it? Because I feel like horror movies really drill down into character.
I love the work.
He just likes the work.
I'm in a movie called. I'm having one. My third movie is O Negative. I play a gay vampire. The script is magnificent. It's not a comedy. My daughter finds out that I'm a vampire, and she also finds out I'm gay. And I take her to a wonderland where it's all unusual people. It's a brilliant script. So I'm in horror movies that are not horror. My movies have stories. The characters have development. And the acting is good on everybody's part.
I love that.
So I will not be in a chopper movie. I turn those scripts down.
Oh, the slashers, yeah.
For one, he's going to be in one because I've got one. I can't tell you because I'm.
Although O Negative, I just found out that I'm very gory when I become a vampire, so I'm not happy with that. But anyway,
we have a lot of films in development. I'm actually doing a horror western. That since you can ride horses, we'll see. We're shooting in Texas, so
sounds great.
I'm going to keep you in mind for everything. I'm following you in social media, so it'll work.
Let me know, yeah.
And I encourage writers to write horror movies that have story, that have character development. That makes sense.
He hasn't seen Art the Clown. He would have a heart attack if he saw Art the Clown movies. The Terrifier movies, because all it is.
It's a new one, yeah.
We won't watch that.
Listen, I have heard of this movie, but I've never seen it.
I can't let him see it because I know he will freak out. Where they eat
each other's ass?
Oh no! Oh, he's talking about the Human Centipede.
I was like, that's Human Centipede.
Yeah, I like that. I had the entire cast of the first movie on. We did one show with all of them on at the same time.
And I have never seen that movie, and I think it's a disgusting movie.
I have also skipped. I went ahead and skipped that one as well. No, Ron, I think you're right though. I like movies that are compelling. I want to learn about people. I want to see, as an actor, as loving film, I want to see character development. I want to see people face challenges. I've got one that we're supposed to be filming later this year, where it's called Rush Week, and it is very much a psychological thriller. Yes, people do get killed. I'm not giving anything away. It's a horror film, but the whole point of it is that the psychology behind everything, of why these things are happening, why these characters find themselves. And I was like, so it's like a mystery. It's a psychology kind of in-depth look about these things. And I'm like, those are films I would love to be a part of.
All right, so now
I choose my scripts well because I don't ever want to be known as a old crazy man in chopper movies. I'm developing a reputation.
Okay, we gotta go.
Okay,
we gotta go. Everybody, listen up.
Look, we'll have to talk again.
Follow Bryan. You guys on Instagram. He's at Sir
let me say something. You were a terrific guest.
Oh, thank
Very
you guys.
Great conversationalist. You joined in. Wonderful guest. Please come back.
So you guys,
I
this
will.
year, you have stuff coming out. We'll bring you back. We want to say follow Bryan, you guys, on Instagram at Sir Bryan Forrest. We also want to thank Matt Chasen. He's a good friend of mine for setting this interview up. Matt's like one of the greatest guys in Hollywood. He's really one of my favorite people in Hollywood. And he doesn't live in Hollywood. That's terrific. But thank you so much for coming on. Good luck with everybody. Everybody look out for Gnome 6-7 Slays Till Mithras. When you tell me that it's on, send me a message on Instagram. Tell me that it's on. I'll let everybody know, and maybe we'll even come back.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.
Wonderful to meet you guys.
When you come back, you'll be married.
Oh, yeah. When are you getting married?
Yeah.
Is there a date? Do you have a date?
Not till 2026. The number 13 is a big thing in our relationship. We went out. We started dating on October 13th. We are literally in the Friday the 13th movies. So we're gonna wait till 2026, and then we'll have been together for 13 years.
Oh my gosh,
So
that's cool. My birthday's October 15th. That's cool. It's right near you. So all right, everybody. Bryan Forrest, thank you so much.
Bye guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye, Bryan.
All right, everybody. So that was Bryan. Follow him on
Nice
Instagram.
guy.
Great guy. We're going to bring on our next guest, Patrika Darbo. So let's bring her in and see if we can hear her and get it going. Hello.
Hello. And I'm sorry, I have a little bit of a frog.
That's okay.
What'd she say?
She says she has a little bit of a frog in her throat.
That's okay.
That's okay. You look fabulous. We just want to make
much.
sure we can hear you. All right, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, actress, producer, director, and primetime Emmy Award winner Patrika Darbo. Hello and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excited to have you because we first of all, let me introduce what you
I
already know.
Please, I know
Our
her.
cool, outrageous man about town co-host Ron Russell.
I kiss her every time I see her.
And we were supposed to be husband and wife.
That's right.
I give her big hugs when I see her. You know what? I'm seeing you all over the place. I see you in commercials. You're really working. I saw you in a couple of movies, so you're doing it.
I'm trying. I'm hanging in there. Hanging in there.
You're a busy girl.
I try.
I love it. So you guys, first of all, you can follow Patrika on Instagram. She's at Darbo Patrika. So you just got to reverse it. I wrote down that you were born in Jacksonville. I went to high school in Jacksonville.
Really?
Did you
yeah, I was born in Jacksonville in St. Vincent's Hospital, the same hospital that now I can't remember, so I'm not going to tell that story.
That's okay. And I also wrote down some fun trivia that in 1999 you were named one of TV Guide's sexiest stars in August for your role on Days of Our Lives, which you were on 506 episodes according to IMDb. 506 episodes, and I didn't watch. I watched it when I was young because my mom watched it. But I remember the hourglass and how then these are the days of our lives. But I didn't really see it. But 506 episodes is a long damn time.
Well, it's been like a little over 20 years. It's been fun. I thought I was going on to serve beer and peanuts, and then I ended up with Kevin Spiritus as my husband going, I think they hired the wrong woman because I weighed like about 250 pounds, and I was not your soap opera looking lady. So I was like, okay.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
We've had him. I said, well, we've had Kevin Spiritus on the show before, and we I know he had been on soap operas, but he also was like on another like gay soap opera, and so we were kind of talking about that since I didn't know Days of Our Lives, and he was also in one of the Friday the 13th movies, so we like talked about like kind of like the other things, but we at our show here. We call them soapies. We love the soapies. We've had everybody on the show. Michael Damian, Tristan Rogers.
I ask every soapie the same question. Can you do what Sean Kanan can do? 30 pages in an hour. Is he not to be believed?
I bet she
can. Honey, it's truly
do?
what most every one of a soap person does. We shoot an entire movie a day. So you have to memorize 20 and 30, maybe 40 pages.
Yeah, she said yes, she can do 40 pages.
It takes me 2 weeks to learn one line. It's true.
But you know what? Your brain is a muscle. And the more and more you do it, the easier it becomes.
I'll be 84. I'll be 85 soon. And when you're 85 soon, you don't remember too much of anything. I mean, Jane Russell was my best friend. I said to Jane, I could put you in movies again, Jane. I have the contacts. And she would say to me, Ron, I can't remember lines. I said, yes, but they'll put a speaker in your ear. And she said, oh, you're crazy. So it happens. When you get to be my age, it's very difficult to remember lines. But Sean is amazing. 40 pages in an hour.
She can do 40 pages.
40 pages in an hour.
I'm not sure I could do it in an hour, so I do give him much credit.
I mean,
how much time do they give you though? How much time do you get to learn that? Like they give it to you the day before?
No, you get 3 to 4 days to memorize it, but you may have 3 or 4 scripts.
Okay.
No. Kristen Rogers said they on the set they'll say, "Okay, Tris, here's a new script, and you have to learn it in a matter of minutes because they changed the script." Am I right?
Well, I haven't found that in Days of Our Lives, and I didn't really notice it in Bold and the Beautiful either. I mean, we got our scripts 2 or 3 days ahead. Now, Days of Our Lives is 7 months ahead of, so they're trying to catch up because they're on Peacock. So they shoot a script every day, but the show is now aired on Peacock, and they want more product all the time. So they're 7 months ahead.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
you're doing a wonderful job on Studio City.
I loved every moment of that, and I'm sorry it hasn't got any further. But when our Sean Kanan suddenly becomes a star back on Bold and the Beautiful and a star back on Cobra Kai, it leaves a little time for him to get back into filming Studio City. So.
Yes. So let me brag a little.
Wait. I want to finish with this. A while ago, Michelle Kanan said to me, "You're going to play your Patrika's husband," and I rape. No.
Oh, you're the rapist.
I rape you when we're young. I'm a studio head, and I rape you when we're very young and we have a child, but it never happened. But I would like to still do it if they want to do it because I'd love working with you. I think it would be exciting. It would be exciting working with you because I don't work with too many professionals in my movies. I work for pay to play people, and they stand there like morons and read lines. So it's different.
True.
Well, some of them.
You haven't been in one, but you've only been in one movie that other people paid to be in. All the other movies you've been, they got paid.
It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare.
So wait, let me brag for her.
Working with you would be such a thrill.
Absolutely.
It really
would. Well, hopefully we'll get back to it. No.
Yes. So you guys, here's some other. I mean, because Patrika is a consummate awesome. She's been on every great soap opera. Days of Our Lives, 506 episodes. She had a small arc on The Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, a lot of episodes, 74. Yeah. She's also on 6 episodes of Studio City and 6 episodes of The Bay. We've had almost everybody from The Bay on the show. Everybody who's been on there has been on our show. And besides that, so I didn't know a lot of the things that you were in all the years we've been seeing you at events. And during COVID, we watched Speed 2. We watched Speed 2 Cruise Control, right? So we're like watching it, and all of a sudden you pop up in there. You're all over it. And I was like, oh my God, that's Patrika Darbo in Speed 2. How awesome. And it was a fun movie. Did you have fun doing that?
It was fun. We had a great time. Though the weather wasn't that good to us. I mean, a lot of times we couldn't get off the ship because it was too hard. It was also, we shot the same time James Cameron was shooting Titanic. So unfortunately, we didn't get to polish Speed 2 the way it should have been because monies were running out because Titanic was big budget.
Yes, big budget. So you guys, Speed 2 had Sandra Bullock, Jason Patrick, and Willem Dafoe. It was a good movie, though. You were really good in the movie.
Very good in it. Well, you're a good actress. You have enough. You know what? Soap operas train you. With all those performances you do every day, you learn. You know your mistakes. You know how to move your face. You know what to do with your hands. It's wonderful training. So I find soapies to be the better actor than most people. Now let's talk about Kate. I love Kate. And I know you love Kate too.
Oh, Kate Linder he's talking about.
Yeah. I think she's one of, I fainted when I found out she was an airline stewardess.
And she still flies.
She still flies.
She just qualified to fly even more. She has, you have to go through the training again to make sure you're up to par. She can grab that, the tiny little bitty thing that she is. She can grab that door, throw it back, and get people off the plane on time. She's amazing.
She's wonderful. And I said, I never knew it. And I said to her, Kate, you're a piece of ass. And she said to me, oh my God, her husband's name was Ron also. And Ron used to say to her, you're a piece of ass. So, it was very sentimental because she's very, very much in love with her husband who has passed away. And I love Kate. So whenever I see her, I'm very specially hugging her and kissing her. She's a sweetie pie.
She is a doll. She just was reelected to the governorship of the TV Academy. So she's one of the performers governors now.
So and I know you are very close with Kate. You're close friends.
At least you go out a lot because we see you guys at the same events together.
All the time together. Like the Bopsy twins.
Honey, I can't keep up with her.
I love it. So here, I'm going to brag because you guys, audience listening, we can't talk about all the different TV shows she's been in. And I wrote down all the ones everybody knows. So this is just like a bragging on Patrika Darbo on some of the fabulous things she's done. Lab Rats, Elite Force, Big Bang Theory, Desperate Housewives, Devious Maids, The George Carlin Show, Dexter, Gilmore Girls, Married with Children, Seinfeld, Step by Step, Roseanne, Different Strokes, Saved by the Bell, The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, which I actually watched that. It was on YouTube. General Hospital, St. Elsewhere, Punky Brewster, Married with Children, which I think I wrote down twice.
That.
Okay, oh well, I wrote it down twice. That's some of the TV shows, you guys. I picked out the ones I thought everybody would like for sure know, which is unbelievable. And then you've also done some really big, like, I don't know, I guess you don't call Babe an animated movie, but Babe, and you also did Rango. And Babe got an Academy Award nomination, and you played like a sheep, I think, right?
Yes, I was one of the sheep.
So how was that?
And then you watch television and a hairdressing commercial comes up, a beauty parlor, and there she is. So I said, oh my God, this bird's all over. You're amazing. You're really a fabulous, fabulous personality is what you are.
Thank you.
No, really, you have a personality that shows in everything. I don't know what it is. Some actors have it, some don't. You have it. Definitely have that.
And she's even been in horror. Okay, so
yes.
So I want to talk about it, but first I want to go back. So first of all, even though you don't have a huge role, one of my favorite movies that maybe people don't know as much, but they can stream it is The Burbs. The Burbs is a fabulous movie, you guys, with Tom Hanks and Bruce Dern and Carrie Fisher and Corey Feldman and Courtney Gaines. And then Troop Beverly Hills with Shelley Long, Craig Nelson, and Carla Gugino. Those are two kind of like cult films for me that I think were fabulous. So talk a little bit on how was that doing those? And Troop Beverly Hills is a great movie. And how was working with Shelley Long?
Well, I didn't quite get to work with her personally that much, but it was a fun thing, and it's still run all the time. And I have a number of fans that are always calling me up, going, "I'm on, you're on. I'm watching Troop Beverly Hills again." So which is
I love it.
But what was the other one you asked
me? The Burbs.
The Burbs is very interesting. It was a fun experience because they just asked me to come in, get out of the car, and then just start talking. Why is my house on fire? Where's my husband? What's going on? What the hell happened here? And that was the end of the movie, me just screaming about my house on fire, screaming. And then after that, they wanted to keep my clothes. I was like, what? And they said, well, we got some long shots to shoot, and we don't want to, hire you just to be a background person. So would you please leave your clothes and somebody else will dry clean them and bring them home? So in the long shots way far, far away is not me.
Not actually you.
But up in the other part, it is me. And then the same director did Gremlins 2.
Great movie.
And so I'm in Gremlins 2 also.
Oh, I didn't write that one down.
So excuse me for a minute. My sugar has dropped. I'm a diabetic.
Okay.
And my sugar has dropped tremendously, and I'm starting to shake. So I have to
Oh,
go.
so
get,
you go and I'll talk.
I have to get some sugar.
Go, baby, go. Be
That's
safe.
funny. This is live TV, and we have all kinds. The mailman comes, people call. I'm having knee surgery tomorrow, and during our first guest, the hospital called to give me my time to go in for it. And I had to take it because I don't want to miss it. So that's why people like the show so much, though, is because it's real life. And
I was just going to say, because it's real life. That's the best part.
so I have a lady in the chat. Her name is Cindy Diadamo, and we're doing a movie called Saving Paradise. And she actually came up with the idea for the film because of your film, Ladies of the 80s, A Diva Christmas. And with Lonnie Anderson, Morgan Fairchild, who's been on the show, Donna Mills has been on the show, Linda Gray, Nicolette Sheridan, and Christopher Atkins. And how was it working on that? I'm actually I can't tell what the story is about, but that inspired us. And she came up with an idea. We got a director and a writer. We're already funded. We're going to be shooting later this year. And but it was based on that. And to give you a little hint, instead of women, we're going to be using the hunky guys in a show. But it's not Christmas, but it's similar. It has a similar theme. So tell us a little bit about that and working with all those great people and because it was one of the most successful Christmas movies of that year.
I have to say that I never worked with any of those ladies.
You know them, though, probably.
I never saw any one of them. I was asked to I was hired and given my lines, and I shot on the last day where they're taking down the set, striking things. My lines were all read with the assistant director.
Does that happen a lot for you?
No, not so much. Usually I at least get to work with an actor. It's very, this was a stage manager who's trying to tell people what to box up, what's got to go back here, get out of the way, keep it quiet and do that. And then giving me my line so that I can respond. So, stuff like that happens every once in a while.
That's just funny.
Okay, I need a minute to explain to our audience. I now have a thing on my arm, a little round thing that goes off when my sugar goes low.
It tells
and it goes to my telephone. It beeps. It's an alarm. It said you're 60, which is very low. Because I'm shooting new insulin, so I'm learning how to balance.
He just got this thing, so he has to learn how to work it.
So I have a little bit of a problem. So forgive me for interrupting the show.
All right, let's go back. All right, so then, so here's some other big films, you guys, that you've seen Patrika in. Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie was really good friends with Ron's daughter growing up.
I used to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for her when they swam in my pool. And
you have such iconic movies. I'm looking at this list. Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. That's an awesome
I love that
movie.
Love that movie.
Speed 2 we talked about.
Who did you play in that?
I'm the nurse that bags the hands and then testifies in court.
Yes. It's a great movie. And with a great cast. I mean, you basically, when you look at the list of people that you've been in things with, whether you worked with them or not, you're in a movie with them, so it counts. Right. You know, the list is like the biggest stars like to ever live in the last 25 years, and you're in with all of them, which I think is great. Let's go back real quick to Babe. So that's an Oscar-winning movie, or Oscar-nominated. I don't know if it won. With James Cromwell.
I can't remember either. I will tell you that I was part of an ADR group at that time, where we were hired to come in and be the voices of them. I don't think at the time on the first Babe, they had any idea how big it was going to be, how much people were going to fall in love with it. And because there was really no marketing. If you think about the first Babe, there were no stuffed animals. There were no little piglets with a hair piece up here. And then after that, for the second movie, there was every kind of sheep with every kind of thing. It was stuffed sheep, puppet sheep, all kinds of sheep. And the dog and all that kind of stuff. And the worst thing, quite frankly, was, and no aspersions, I'm casting no aspersions, the only persons that did any marketing was McDonald's.
Oh, yeah, because they had the toys for the kids'
meal. The little toys. So come in and have your bacon sandwich. And oh, by the way, bacon is piglet. I mean, what the hell were they thinking?
I know, that's a crazy tie-in, isn't that? That's like... Like you would never think that they would do something like that in a million years.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
So, so then you had at least one horror movie. You know, you have so many things. I just picked out the things that I thought everybody would really like know for sure. You did though. You're in Hatchet, so we've had Adam Green on the show, and Kane Hodder, and Robert Englund, and Tony Todd. They've all been on the show.
Right.
Joel David Moore from the Avatar. He's like from the Avatar movies. So how was it being in a horror movie? I don't actually remember who you were in Hatchet. I've seen all of them because I think there's 3 of them, and I know we've had almost everybody from all of them on the show. But what did you think of being in a horror movies, and do you even watch horror movies?
Well, I'm kind of like Ron. I don't watch them.
Yes, he doesn't watch them. He doesn't even watch his own if they don't have a premiere.
I did see. Fangoria magazine gave me Best Kill.
There you go.
Yeah. So and it was. It was amazing work with all those young kids and everything, and some consummate older professionals. The gentleman that played my husband, he was my husband. He was Santa Claus in 2 Santa Claus movies I did.
Oh, so that's fun.
So we've been married a number of times.
Who played your husband? Do you remember who it is?
Yeah, Riley is his last name. I can't think of the first name right now. I apologize that my head is just not.
Oh no, that's okay.
Not helping you.
You can remember 40 pages, but you can't remember a name. That's good.
You're doing really, really good with all of it, actually.
And my pages, yeah, but I remember who I'm acting with and stuff. But I can't. It's going to drive me crazy now because I adore him. He's a wonderful, wonderful actor. Richard Riley.
Yes, dear. There we go. So then another big one that you're in is In the Line of Fire. That's another huge, huge film with Clint Eastwood, John Malkovich, Gary Cole, Rene Russo, Dylan McDermott. It's really like amazing, actually. Like, so how did you actually get into all of this? Because these are such huge movies. Did you like grow up in Jacksonville and think, oh, I'm going to be an actress and I'm moving to Hollywood? Or how did that actually happen?
Well, my mom and dad divorced. So when we divorced, my mother took my sister, brother, and I to live in Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And then my dad was.
That's where my mom is from. My mom went to Marquette.
My stepdad was with the Braves organization.
Okay.
He'd been with the Braves organization from Boston to Milwaukee to Atlanta. And he and Ted Turner didn't quite get along, I guess. And after all those years, he fired my dad while they were on the road.
Oh, yuck.
My dad was the traveling secretary. So he said, fine. And he left. He packed up his stuff and left. Now, he keeps all the tickets. He keeps all the reservations for hotels, all the reservations for planes. So there was nobody there to take over. I mean, it was just, anyway. So I'm in Georgia, and I decided I'm going to do something else. So I moved to California to be an actor, and ended up being a credit manager for 35 years. 40 years.
Wow. Wait, you couldn't be for 35 years. Like, because you've been acting for how many years have you been acting?
Full time since 1984.
Yeah, but like that would make you like 75 years old or something. Like you're not that old. You must have acted at the same time.
Wait a minute. What's that old?
Okay, no, she's not.
Let's clarify.
No, but like 35 years in 1980. What did you say? 1980?
Don't clock her.
1984 was when I first started working permanently as not having a second job. But I worked in the 70s.
That's 39. That's 39 years.
Honey, on April 6th, I'll be 77 years old.
Oh my God!
You're like
him.
And I'm telling the world now on your show, shit.
I'm in the business 64 years, and people say to me, "How could you be in the business 64 years?" I said, "I am." How could I be? I am. It's a fact.
He'll be 85 in May.
Yeah.
And I was clocking you, honestly, I was clocking you like 62 or 63.
You know, I'm very blessed because I play in my 60s.
Yes.
I play much younger too. I play.
Well, it's fortunate. My grandmother passed away just after her 101st birthday, and
wow.
And she looked like she was in her 60s when she went. So,
I'm supposed to be in a movie, and I won't say it, and I don't give a shit, with Kevin Bacon. And I'm playing Kevin Bacon's father. So the producer said to me, could you look older? Because you look younger than Kevin Bacon. So I said, well, yeah, I wear glasses and comb my hair differently. Sure, I can look older than he. So that's a compliment. But I play much younger than I am. I play.
Unfortunately, I do too. I mean, if I have to go to an audition where they know me and they know my age, then I stand out like a whore in church because I don't look like the other little ladies with gray hair and stuff like that.
No, you could play younger.
Do you still have to audition a lot?
Yeah.
I know. I would just think you, with your body of work, you have such a big body of work that you would not have to audition that much because people.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Why do I have to audition?
No, I think so. I think that would be terrific. So I think you're terrific at it. So okay, so here's something I like to ask.
When you get to be a certain age, you don't audition anymore. Now, when they need an old bag, they say, "Get Russell, get Ron Russell." So it's easy. You got to play a grandfather or your 100-year-old man. Get Russell. So no more auditioning for me. No.
That's funny. That's just funny.
I remember the cattle calls of years ago. Do you remember them?
Oh yeah. I mean,
those cattle, 300 people came for one part.
That was, those were mostly for me was when you were auditioning for a musical. Because the equity call was for equity and then non-equity. So there were lines around the building.
Do you sing? Do you sing too?
Yes, but not today.
No, that's okay.
No.
Oh, what have we seen? Have you sung in a movie before?
A Christmas movie.
That's fun.
And then I can't think if I sang in another movie or not. I think I in one of the horror films, which wasn't a horror film as much as it was a psychological thriller, which is The Vagrant. I sang a little prayer at night when I went to bed. No, I'm lying to you. That was Leaving Normal. I sang in Leaving Normal.
Okay.
Meg Tilly again. Yeah.
Oh, I love Meg. That's a phenomenal cast. There's so many good casts and everything. I also wrote down you were in Karina,
so
the remake.
You want to give us a little tip of what's going on in Studio City?
She doesn't know, I bet, if there's anything going. Is there anything going for a new season, or you don't know yet?
No, I don't know anything at all. I can't comment.
You're not going another season?
They don't have time right now because Sean's working.
Sean's on Bold and Beautiful, and that's in the morning. So he could do.
Yeah, but he's also Cobra Kai, and he's writing a bunch of stuff. So he's been busy writing. And
yeah, we went to his book signing here. And
meanwhile, the book they wrote, the married book about.
We had them on last week.
Yeah, it's a terrific book. It really is.
Honey, I've been married 51 years. I think I can tell a few things too.
What you said?
She said, I've been married 51 years, so I can tell you a few things too.
Yeah, right.
Very good. That 51 years is a long time. We've been together 13. And so 51, congratulations. Is your husband in the entertainment world?
He worked for Disney for a long time, but then when all the big wigs happened and stuff, they kind of swept out all the people that weren't union and that had worked with Walt Disney. So he became my that was the same time that I suddenly my career went this way. So he became my business manager. So that's why I own my house, I own my car, I own it.
Good for you.
So
here's something I like to ask everybody, and for you it's going to be an interesting question because your body of work is so extensive. But I ask all the actors this. I didn't ask the last guy because we ran out of time. But if you bucket list, if you could work with any actor, male and female, pick a male and a female. They can be living or dead, but if you could have worked with any actor that you haven't had a chance to work with, who would you like to work with? And then the second part of the question will be, if you could have ever been in any movie ever made, what movie would you have liked to have been in?
Well, of course, being a Southern doll, I'd love to have been in Scarlet. It worked with Miss Scarlet.
Yes, there you go.
Had been in Gone with the Wind. But as far as there are so many new and young actors coming up, as well as many actors of fine wine. So I'm really not sure. I think Zendaya, I would like to work with.
Very good pick.
I think she's amazing. And I know Chalamet is very big right now, but I'd rather work with some of the people that work around him.
Yes.
That, you know,
I like some of his stuff, and I don't like some of his stuff.
that's it. So it's kind of like
most talented actors, young people. They consider him to be like the best, young actor, and I think he's very, very talented. But I'm not a huge. It's like Tom Hanks,
Yeah, it's kind of like
I'm not a huge fan.
I mean, working with Tom Hanks would be amazing too. His wife Rita. There's two people you can work with right there.
Fabulous. Yes, Rita.
And
Rita follows me on Twitter. Rita follows me on Twitter. X. It's called X now.
I listen. Everything in that thing is over my head. I go, oh, I pushed the wrong button. Who'd I call? Oh,
I know. No, I like a lot of these. Like for me, first of all, I don't act. I produce. He acts. I produce. But like for me, like I would love to work with Charlize Theron just because like I think she's like
Oh my God, yeah.
So
did you see the movie with the airplane? With there's an actress that's English that I'm dying to get on the show and work with. I think she's the best actress, better than any actress in Hollywood right now.
Well, thank you very much.
Except for you.
No, serious. No, this is serious stuff. This girl, she was in Downton Abbey.
Flight Risk.
Did you see Flight Risk?
I don't think I have.
She was on camera the entire time. She held that movie together. I have never seen such a performance in my life. She changed characters every 2 minutes. Cried, laughed, killed, did. I mean, it was amazing.
So we should tell him what Flight Risk is. So Flight Risk is the new movie that came out about a month ago. Mel Gibson directed it, and the entire movie takes place in the cockpit of a little teeny plane. Michelle Dockery, Mark Wahlberg, and Topher Grace, and that's it. The whole movie is those three in a plane.
Michelle Dockery is absolutely the greatest actress of our time. She's better than Meryl Streep. She's better than any of them. These English girls, these English they're fabulous actors.
You ever watch Downton Abbey?
Yes, of course.
No, it's Lady Mary.
She played
Lady Mary on Downton Abbey.
Well, listen, who could take their eyes off of the what's her face? Oh shit! I see. Looks like I get to carry listening, and then I lose my thought. God, that is my old age, I guess. Holy shit.
No.
What's she say?
Maggie Stewart. Maggie Stewart. I mean,
yes. Maggie, yes.
Everybody in that one. I mean, what I find so interesting is the training that they go through there.
Yes. Well, look about Judi
Dench. It's so much more extensive than we do. They can suddenly be talking in their British accent and suddenly be doing an American accent. I mean, and sustaining it through a full movie. And they're trained to sing, dance, do everything. But if you watch any one of the films, this person today may be down here, separate, doesn't have a separate card, has 2 cards or 4 people listed. And then the next thing, they're the star in this one. They just love to work.
Yes, oh no, absolutely.
And one day they can be the head of the show. The next day they can be almost a background with just a few little lines in it. I assume sometimes, and it could make an ass out of me, that some of them just take roles as for friends and stuff like that.
Yes.
But I also think they're not physically caught up with beauty and body that we are here.
Yes.
If you watch their television, I mean, somebody looks goofy all the time. They don't get coiffed, hair, makeup, let's go. I mean, they're real people.
Look, we have Judi Dench, Plowright, Maggie Smith. The list goes on and on and on. They're Shakespearean actors. They've trained in Shakespeare theater. Now, they have a quality about them that the American actor doesn't have. I don't know what it is, but English people, when they speak, they sound very eloquent and very educated. When we speak, especially me from Brooklyn, I sound like, I don't know what the hell I sound
Wait,
like.
I want to tell you something real quick, though, while we're on. So there's a show, and it's on Max. You can see it if you have Max. It's a TV show that used to be on TNT, and it's called Good Behavior, and it stars Michelle Dockery. And it's Michelle Dockery as like a hooker, drug addict, thief, and all these different things that you would never expect Mary Lady to do. And it's the best show ever. It had 2 seasons. And it's a really, really good show. Watch it with your husband. It's just amazing to see her change, from Lady Mary to this. It's really
you'll
unbelievable.
remember her name. She's going to, another couple of years, she's going to be an Academy Award winner. And she's going to be one of the most popular actresses in the world. She is beautiful, phenomenal, and doesn't care about makeup or hair. She's an actor.
Okay, so hold on. We have 5 minutes left, and I want to say, first of all, you guys make sure to follow Patrika on Instagram at Darbo Patrika. Don't worry about her on X because she doesn't go on it. She hasn't been on it in a long time, so don't go on worry about that one. And so what are do you have any kind of a story? Like, what's one of your best experiences on what project that you ever done? Like, what was one of the projects that you did that you were like, oh my God, this is like the greatest project, whether it's a big one or a little one? What was one of your best experiences?
Well, in the Line of Fire. I mean, working with John Malkovich was what an incredible actor he is. I mean, and kind. I was doing a stage play there, a musical, and one of the young girls in the chorus grabbed me like this. If I don't get to meet John Malkovich, I'll kill you. So I got permission to bring her on the set, and John said he would talk to her because she was a theater major at UCLA. And he does so much theater. I mean, he started all the seconds in Chicago. And he talked to her for at least an hour and a half on theater and stuff like that, and approaching characters. He was really wonderful. And that lady now owes me. Said, I owe you my children. I said,
He's one of the greatest actors though ever. He's a phenomenal actor, and that's a great movie. I've seen the movie like 10 times.
Well, he was doing and talking with her, and he was also sketching some plans for his home in Paris because he was redesigning the kitchen, I think it was. And all of a sudden they came and said, John, we're ready for you. And it was kind of like he put down the paper and then he went. And left. It was like you saw him transform himself into the person that was killing my roommate in the other room and was soon going to kill me. So
I love it. So we have 3 minutes.
3 minutes. What do I want to say? Who have you worked with that you really loved working with and would want to work with again?
Sandra Bullock.
Oh,
Sandra Bullock.
I love her.
I love her too. She's fabulous.
And she was wonderfully kind to everybody. A generous actress too. If the camera was on the other person, she was there to give them their lines the same way. I mean, she was wonderful. She truly, in my opinion, is the girl next door. At who she was and her growth to see where she was going to leave the business because of her failed TV series, and then suddenly becomes America's sweetheart and is in everything. And it's just amazing. So
I'm so happy that
the first movie I was in, I played a soldier in 1959, was That Kind of Woman with Sophia Loren. And I am telling Jimmy, please try to get her. I want to work with Sophia again. And I would love Sophia to come on our show. I don't know that we'll ever get her because she's still an
never say never. Never say never.
Never say never.
Right, true. You're right. Because she's an international superstar and she's making a comeback. She's all over the place now on Facebook and all the media at 90 years old. So
well, it's kind of one of those things. I am a technical dinosaur. I don't have half the stuff going on. If I don't friend you back, it's because I have two. They go, you can't have any more friends. I can have as many as I want. No, you can't. Yeah.
No, but
actually, the fact that you got on StreamYard though is really good because a lot of people have had difficulty, like, hitting the button and getting in. So the fact that you got on this without a problem is really
it said go to Chrome and then push the button. That's all I needed to do.
Oh, so you read the instructions. I think other people don't read the instructions, because a lot of even like young 20-year-old people, and they get all fumbled and messed up. And so when you were there and we could hear you right off the bat, I was like, this is awesome. I'm so happy.
And then I had to come on and sound like a frog.
That's okay. So you have to take care of that.
You're a true performer, because the show must go on, and you made the show happen even at a disadvantage.
Well, I felt bad because we had to cancel the first time because I booked another commercial and we were shooting. So there's no way I wasn't going to be on here today. No way.
Fabulous. And our audience, basically, the majority of our audience is like 40 to 80. And
my people.
They are your people. This show is going to get a zillion million plays because you have done such a great body of work, and you have such wonderful things that you've done, and you're incredibly personable.
You're a nice person.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. So we want to thank you for coming on. Please take care of yourself.
Yes.
And we look forward
But in closing, my time to talk. I could probably drive a buggy. I'm not good riding a horse. I'm picturing that movie.
Oh, I've actually, now that I've talked to you, like once I know people and I get to talk to them a little bit more, because I have 7 films, 4 of them funded that I'm working on, and I have 2 that would actually work for you. So we will be in touch. Once we start casting, I will get in touch with you.
So I may get to play with you.
So you may get to play with them after all, and we have to go because we're out of time. So Patrika, thank you so much.
Take care, guys. Bye.
And I hope to see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week. We've got some really great guests next week. We want to thank everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you later. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Can turn out to be so wrong.
Yeah, we in the mix. Yeah, we in the mix. It's another episode. Here we go. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Interviewing the hottest, newest, and truest of today's celebrities. Make sure to subscribe so you can get notified weekly. Jimmy Star, he's the king of cool. Ron Russell, he's a gorgeous dude. Chat room is live and you would be a fool not to vibe with us at the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Come watch it live on W4CY Radio. Miss some past episodes? Download on iTunes. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. It's the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell.